Hello young and brilliant minds. In this video, we are going to learn about candlestick charts. This is Abhishek Raj, son of two superhumans, my mom and dad, brother of two most caring sisters on the planet, a gardener and a chef by hobby, a computer technician turned quality analyst, now a stockbroker and investment advisor. So today I begin the series of charts. Yes, we will learn about charts starting from the beginning, the basics till advanced levels. We will know in this video. Today's session is only for the basics. I'll tell you what to look at when you're looking at the charts. In coming videos, I'll be sharing some patterns that you need to follow, some basic patterns which are usually single candlestick patterns. Then later on, I'll take you to the complex levels as well, where we will learn about complex chart patterns, which is usually formed by a combination of multiple candlesticks. So let's begin. Now, before we begin understanding the charts, there is something that I want you all to learn and understand. Something very basics. So, see, there are two kind of people in stock market. There are some people who like to forecast what's going to happen or what is happening in terms of markets, and the second population belongs to people like us who do not forecast what's happening. We rather try to read what's happening. So this is my suggestion to all of you: don't predict the markets, don't predict what is going to happen the next. Try to read from the market psychology. Ask the markets. Market is your friend. If you ask the market, you'll get your answer. If you try to predict the markets, you are most of the times going to get wrong. The reason is very simple. Whatever price actions or whatever price movements happens in the stock market, it's a sum total of complete market participants. I'll give you an example. I'm sure everyone would have heard about Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, the big bull of India. So he might be trading with thousands of crores. There could be another investor, a foreign institution, or could be a domestic institution trading with a capital of, let's say, 5,000 crores. There could be another guy trading from a capital city of India, New Delhi, with some 10-15 lakhs rupees in his account. There could be an HNI investor with some few crores in his account. There could be a small trader who would be investing somewhere around 10-15,000 rupees as well in the market. So every contribution, everyone contributes. If a guy who has 5,000 rupees is buying X amount of share, and there could be somebody else with multiple, with bigger investment, he could be buying 1,000x shares. There could be somebody else buying 1 lakh shares. So basically, whatever the prices move, they are sum total of everybody's movement. It is just like elections. Multiple parties elect, multiple parties, participate in the elections, and we go ahead and vote. But what happens? Election commissioner counts the votes, and whomsoever got the majority wins. Similarly, the stock market is. If in any given time frame, let us say I'm talking about a time frame of 9:30 a.m. till 10:30 a.m., 1 hour time frame. So XYZ amount of shares would have been purchased, some amount of shares would have been sold. If the overall demand was on the buying side, overall there was a demand for the stock, then of course it was positive. And if the overall there was a supply, majority of people are willing to sell the stock, then there is going to be a fall in the stock prices. So before we begin how to see things, before we begin the learning, I want you all to forget what you have known so far. In case you have known, if you have not known so far, this is how you start learning from the basics. So let us begin. First of all, candlesticks. In this session today we will learn about introduction to candlestick charts, number one. Number two, interpretation of candlestick charts, how to see the candlestick chart. Number three would be introduction to some chart patterns. Okay. So number one, the features of candlestick charts. It is a very dense formation. For any given time frame, it completely comprises the data of whatever is happening and presents you in form of candles. Now, it indicates the psychology and the emotions involved in the market of the market participants, be it buyers or sellers. It gives you a clear picture who dominated the market during the time period being studied. If you're studying a time period of, let's say, month, if you're studying a time period of, let's say, 1 day, let's say 1 minute, let's say 5 minutes, so whatever time period you're looking at, the candlesticks would be formed for that specific time periods, and it will tell you whether buyers dominated or sellers dominated. So that's how we understand things. It can represent a trading pattern over a short or a long period of time, which again a trader has to further decide, because time period generally used by the traders as per their individual trade cycles. If I'm an investor who is willing to invest for, let's say, 20 years, I would not even mind not looking at the stock for a month. I would look at probably monthly chart. If I am an investor of, let's say, for 2-3 years, I would probably want to see what's happening on a weekly basis. If I am an intraday trader, for me the entire market cycle starts at 9:15 a.m. and ends at 3:30 p.m. because I am an intraday trader. I have to trade during the day only. I am not willing to take the risk of carrying over the stocks. Very simple. So that is how you decide your time frame, the amount of time that you're going to stay in the stock. Accordingly, the time frame analysis changes. So let's move on to the next topic. Now, this is how an ideal candlestick looks like. Don't go by the color because it's a positive, it's a bullish candle. However, the candlestick is formed by four information: where the stock opened in the given time frame, where the stock closed, what was the high, what was the low, O, H, L, C, open, high, low, close. These are the four things basis which a candlestick is formed. Let's look at the representation of candlesticks. Usually in the entire industry of stock market, there are two ways you would see the candlestick chart presentation, two color codings you can say. One is a green and red, red being bearish, green being bullish. One is a white and black, usually said as hollow and filled. So white and black, white being positive, black being negative. Red and green, red being negative, green being positive. There's one thing very important for everyone to understand: the supply and demand cycle in stock market. See, there are two assets, there are two things being worked upon. You can either be talking about money or you could be talking about equities, shares, because the entire concept of, the entire dynamics of demand and supply varies the moment you talk about demand and supply of either equity or money. Let us say if there is a demand of money, what it means: people are willing to take out the money from the market. What they would have to do, they would have to sell the shares. So demand of money is actually supply of shares, and vice versa. If there is a supply of money, there's a demand for share. If people are willing to take the buying, people want to buy the stock, they feel like the valuations are good or whatsoever, the stock should appreciate, so people are willing to buy. For buying, they'll have to put in money. So when there is supply of money, stock prices appreciate. In other words, when there is demand for stocks, the stock prices appreciate, and vice versa. When there is a supply of money and when there is a demand of money and supply of stock prices usually fall. So never ever get confused. I would suggest follow whatever suits you, because if you look at different portals, if you look at a television, maybe on a television there could be some investor who is talking about demand and supply, and he could be referring to the equity demand and supply. You may be following some other online news channel or online, let's say, information portal. There they could be talking about money demand and supply. So in case if you just follow the terms demand and supply, you can get confused. Try to understand what exact, because eventually in stock market there's only two things that can be done. You can either be buying a stock or an index, or you can be selling the stock or the index. There's nothing third that exists in this stock market. So bottom line, whatever concepts that we learn, whatever concepts that we talk about, demand, supply, positive, negative, bullishness, bearishness, XYZ types of candlestick patterns, try to break down the information into the basics of buying and selling. Whatever things are being talked about, what is it creating? The moment you listen to an information, your approach should be to drill down to the basics of buying and selling. You need to understand whatever information that is being shared or whatever activity that is being talked about, whether it's creating a buying in the stock or it's creating a selling in the stock. That's how you need to approach, and you will always have a clarity on what's going to happen the next, and your forecasts, your predictability would be very high. So now let me take you back to the candlestick, and you need to understand how we understand the psychology of the market basically. See, if you look at the green candle, in case of a green candle, it means the stock opened. There are two parts of the candle. One, the small lines that you see up and down, uh, we usually call it wicks, or the shadow, or the tail, or the shadow, whatever you want to call it, just go by it. It's basically, if you look at this green candle, the stock opened at the bottom, closed at the top, and in between this opening and closing, it went as high as the end of the tail, on the upper end of the tail, and during the same trading duration it went to as low as the bottom of the tail. Now what it means, it simply means there could have been a stock that opened at 100 rupees, it made a high of, let us say, 112. In the meantime it fell to 99 rupees, and it closed at 110 rupees. So that is how it looks like. Let us say bottom is 100 rupees, it fell 1 rupees below 99 rupees, but then it appreciated till 112. Some people booked their profit, some people left their buyings, and the stock fell to 110. So eventually it was a positive close, being 100 to 110. However, in between the stock had a journey of 99 as well, plus 112 as well. So what we understand from this particular chart pattern, as the stock opened at 100 rupees, there was some amount of selling. Some people might have thought, let us say, or maybe some people would have purchased in the previous session, they were willing to sell it, or maybe there are some people who were thinking that yes, the stock should fall, and they sold it. However, demand came at the bottom, demand for the stock. People started buying it, and it appreciated till 112 rupees per share. Now, when it appreciated till 112 rupees per share, there could have been some intraday traders, or could be some loose hands who were okay with 112 rupees profit. They sold their stocks. However, majority of the population was willing to take delivery of the stock. That is the reason why the stock did not fall much. It closed towards the upper end of the entire trading session, the entire trading duration. And that's why it's a very good positive bullish candle. On the flip side, if you talk about the bearish one, theory is the same. On the opposite side, the stock might have opened at 100 rupees, it went as high as 102 or 101, then it fell to 90 rupees. However, towards the end it closed around 91, 92 kind of prices. So basically the stock closed almost 8 to 9 rupees negative. In between it was 10 to 11 rupees negative. However, it closed 9 rupees negative. So of course bears dominated. If bulls would have dominated, it would have been a positive closing. So bears dominate. So this is how we correlate the price and psychology. Majority of people are willing to buy, means it's a positive close. Majority of people are willing to sell, it's a negative close. And that's how you understand what is the collective wisdom of the stock market. What does the majority of the population wants? If I talk about there are 100 people in the room buying and selling, what we are trying to understand, what does the majority want? If majority is buying, it would be positive. If majority is selling, it would be negative. When we will talk about candlestick chart patterns, it will be very, very crucial. That is the reason why we are talking about the psychology, the sentiments of the market in details, because eventually any kind of pattern that we talk about, any kind of complex chart patterns we talk about, any kind of data numbers we talk about, you must have heard people talking about open interest data, delivery data, XYZ reversals and breakouts and everything. But eventually that's being broken down to the market sentiments, what people are willing to do, what people want, what is the market participant looking at. So that is how it is. Now let me take you to some candlestick chart patterns and how it matters. So ideally there are thousands of candlestick chart patterns. This is a list of somewhere around 15-20 different chart patterns. On the next slide as well we have similar 15 to 20 chart patterns. So today we will not talk much into candlestick chart patterns, but yes, basis some of them I will try to explain what we look at in the markets. Let's take an example of this. Let us talk about, see, here we have a candlestick that says bearish Harami cross, or could be bullish tri-star, this one. So if you look at individuals. Don't look at the pattern. This is actually a combination. It's a complex chart pattern made out of three different candles. So let us look at every one of them individually. So if you look at the candles, what it looks like as a cross, as a cross, what actually means the body of the candle doesn't even exist. It means the stock opened at 100 rupees. It might have gone to 105. It might have fallen to 95, let's say, but it closed around 100 rupees. So what it means, people thought it will appreciate, it went up but booked their profit. People thought it will fall, but again, the moment it fell, people thought it should not fall, or maybe some buyers came in, they bought the stocks, stock appreciated to the levels where it started from. However, it did not even appreciate much. So what we can establish is market participants are confused actually. It means the majority, there is no clarity, there is no clarity in what the market participants are looking at, where people are inclined towards bullishness or bearishness. It's kind of a flat day. Stock opened at 100 rupees, it might have closed 99.5, or might have closed 100 rupees 50 paise. That is the reason why the body is very small. In between, it might have gone up and gone down. In technical analysis, this is called the doji pattern. Doji pattern is nothing, simply indecisiveness. Now, its application is very important. For example, let us say there is a stock that has been trading positive for last 1 week. It appreciated from levels 90 to 110. It was closing every day 2-3 rupees positive. Now, when it reached 210 levels, there is a doji pattern that's forming. It means on this particular day, people are not sure whether it should appreciate more or it should now correct. You cannot be appreciating the stock forever. You cannot be making it double within a month or within a week time, right? So this is how you try and correlate that yes, after a trend, there is an indecisiveness. In case the stock prices go above these levels, you can say yes, the market participants are still bullish. In case it starts falling from here, you can say buying happened, then supply came, then the stock is undergoing a correction. So this is how we try and analyze what's happening in the markets and what markets are willing to do, what market participants are willing to do. Accordingly, we form our entries and exit levels. So we will talk more about candlestick chart patterns in our next video, most probably tomorrow or day after. I'll try to finish up with candlestick chart patterns in 3 to 5 videos. One video would be dedicated to single candlestick chart patterns. One video would be dedicated to some good chart patterns, combination of chart patterns where any pattern is formed by multiple candles, complex chart patterns. Then we will also talk about how reversals are identified, how you can identify a trade out of a chart pattern. So we'll talk about the basic implementations as well, the practical implementations of the candlesticks as well. But again, that will be coming in the next session. Hope I made myself clear to you. Hope you learned something today. In case you have any queries, questions, please comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll make sure it's worth your time and effort. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for watching. You can always click on follow me on Instagram on Ask Abhishek Raj. Follow me on YouTube, Invest with Abhishek Raj. Follow me on Facebook, Abhishek Raj. You can find me, you can connect with me. My WhatsApp number is there, my contact number is there, my email address is abhishekraj@askabhishekraj.com. Share your comments, share your feedback. I would love to listen from all of you. Thank you so much. That would be all for today. Abhishek Raj signing off. Stay healthy, stay wealthy.